All right, I don't know what the hell that ending was. I don't know what that was. But holy crap. Arkansas with the dub. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Yo. Welcome everybody to the post-game show. Hope you guys hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you enjoyed the game. Anytime you beat Missouri, that's great. We're going to give away our gold chain. Finally, I wasn't so sure. I picked Arkansas to begin with, then I went and I changed my pick. I went and I changed my pick to Mizzou. Wasn't so sure I was going to get to crown somebody with this, with this gold chain that is completely 100% real. Wasn't so sure I was going to wear it on anybody's behalf, but, man, I'm going to take a win. A dub's a dub's a dub's a dub. Arkansas looked like they're going to run those guys off the floor. It looked like they're going to run Mizzou off the floor, maybe finally get a big win or a big lead and then keep it and then beat the hell out of Missouri. And, that same old defense kind of reared its ugly head there in the second half. It certainly was. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Musselman took the foot off the gas. I mean, this is something that he's been criticized for a little bit, even last year and years in previous years. Maybe he takes his foot off the gas a little bit too quick. As his guys, slow things down on offense. Maybe not try to press as much or not try to, score as quickly. Just hold on to the ball. We know they're good at that when you don't need them to be. When they struggle and that shot clock gets down inside 8 seconds, I don't know how they don't have more shot clock violations on the year. It's kind of astounding they don't average like a couple of those a game, especially in conference play. All right, shout out to everybody. Shout out to these fine people right here. Look at that, Patreon supporters. Join Tuss Talk Patreon. We're over 100. Really excited about that and where that's headed. You guys have helped make that special, so I appreciate you, Patreon supporters. I'm going to give you guys the link. Maybe you'll consider joining. Way too quick says don't read the comments. Yeah. I listen. I know it's Missouri. I get it. They're not good. They're horrible. My skepticism was, number one, I wasn't so sure what we saw against Kentucky would carry over, and I think it did a little bit. I certainly believe a little bit of that did. I didn't think it would because we haven't seen Arkansas play consistent like that, I haven't seen – and look, they did it last week – in their last game, and then over the weekend they played really well against Kentucky, and then they brought it with them tonight. Again, it looked like they're going to blow those guys off the floor. I thought they're going to get into like the 30-plus, lead there. Missouri is, dude, they're trash. They're trash. I don't want to hear it. They're bad. Their rim protection is so bad, and they just look lost. It's hard to believe somebody's actually worse than Arkansas at guarding around the rim. It's hard to believe. And they are bad. But then they, to start things off, their perimeter threat was there. They were able to knock down a couple threes. I think they only had a couple that I saw open looks. I don't think they had very many uncontested shots. Or contested. Hang on, let me try that again. I don't think that their threes, not all of them were wide open. I thought Arkansas's defense did a really good job of chasing those guys out off the perimeter. And, again, they just dominated in the paint. Holy crap. All right, shout out to, of course, the Odd Soul Craft Bar Pizzeria located on Emma Street here in Springdale. Great pies, great staff, IPAs on tap, you name it, they got it. Friendly staff, great environment to watch a game. Again, that's the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria. When If you're going to a game, whether it's basketball or baseball, and you're in town, go check them out. Go tell them Ty sent you. Also, of course, direct service overhead, the Garage Door Company, who offers same-day services. Quality parts, affordable outcomes. Hundreds of 5-star reviews, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Appreciate the retweets, as always. Philip and Matt and Ross Henry and another Matt. Appreciate it's the same Matt. My bad. It's the same Matt. Appreciate the retweets, fellas. Appreciate it. Mitchell been showing up. Mitchell has been showing up on his birthday. Congrats, man. Hey, they won. Deal with it, says XP. Is there a mouse in your pocket? Who you talking to? XP? No one knows. I'm going to start calling you Michael Kopesky. Kill Edward says it's stupid. Why completely change what got you a big lead? Yeah, they certainly slowed it down. And I feel like had they not, I think Arkansas would have broke 100 points tonight. I think they would have broke 100 points. We won a game, Ty. Get the Dookie rope chain out for Mitchell, bro. I didn't think we'd do it twice. Now, I know they didn't win against Kentucky, but we still put it on for Mitchell. Do we give it to him? We're going to go over these numbers here in just a minute. For Arkansas, again, Arkansas gets the win, 91-84. In the first half, Mizzou had some open looks there in the beginning, but I think, again, as the game went on, those open looks were they did a great job of chasing these guys down out off the perimeter. Arkansas led for most of this game. I think Missouri tied it once. Mizzou, I don't believe, had the lead one time tonight, or did they? They tied it up at 5 apiece at the 17-minute mark. I thought they had I don't think they had the lead at all. And then Arkansas was able to stretch this thing out. They got up to 25-12, and at one point it was 41-26. And they just completely dominated those guys. And what a first half, though. I mean, that's really how this thing got started, was Arkansas's performance in the first half. They went in leading 45-28, shooting 59% in the first half. A bunch of points from their bench, 20-plus points from the bench. Minifield showed up in the first half as well. He had a couple assists. Again, this is just first half numbers, 9 points. Mitchell had 8 rebounds, 14 points, again, just in the first half alone. Is Mitchell coming alive? Like, was he the missing piece this whole time? Like, was there just something about that rotation and him coming in when he was? Now he's getting more time on the floor. Was he kind of the missing piece? And then tonight you had Minifield, who certainly, I mean, some of the feeds, man, some of the feeds by him, the finds, he looked at times like a true point guard. We've seen this from him before. I'm still puzzled by his usage this year. I've heard Muss's reasoning behind it. And to be fair, Missouri is not – I mean, they've got a little bit of size, but they're not as athletic. They're not as big. They're probably the worst. Even in terms – I mean, I know it's easy to say that. They're now 0-8 in conference play. I get it. But you know what I mean? In terms of just raw talent on the floor, they're probably the worst between them and Vanderbilt. So maybe that's just why he could show up in these kind of games. I don't know. I think Minifield's usage this year, though. But Arkansas also shot 100%. I don't know how often that's happened at the free throw line this year for them in the first half in SEC play. But they did go 6 for 6, 7 boards, 19 total rebounds for Arkansas in the first half, holding Mizzou to just 13. So you were plus 6 in that category. They turned the ball over, Mizzou did, 9 times to Arkansas's 6. So you got off to a really good start in the first half. Loved it. Oh, we got $5. Whoa, we got super chats. Hang on. Let me pull over here. Susie Schwartz, thank you for the $20 super chat. Scott Swindon with a $5 super chat. Give Mitchell the chain. Hang on. We're going to get there. We're going to hand out the chain in just a second. I know you guys, I love that that's become a thing. I want to do this more. I've only done it once in a loss. I shouldn't have. I kind of broke this new tradition that we're trying to get started here. I probably shouldn't have done it, but I had to reward him. So let's go over these numbers. And again, it's not just numbers that get you my gold chain. All right? It's not just numbers. There's some other factors there. If you have a whole shit ton of turnovers, I'm probably not going to give you the rope or the chain, the gold chain. If you just kind of you balled out on the, maybe you had 18 points, but you had 5-6 turnovers, and you didn't really crash the boards, and maybe you were 50% at the free throw line. There's other factors, and I also want to see effort. And so let's go to the final numbers. Again, Arkansas, who had a big lead, they end up just winning this game 91-84. I did not see Arkansas. I didn't see either one of these two teams scoring in the 80s. And the fact that Arkansas got to 91, and I think that's what they said on the broadcast too, as I was setting this post game up. I think that's what they said on the broadcast. I had the volume turned down, but I couldn't agree more. I did not see this thing, either one of these guys getting into the 80s, and then for Arkansas to get up to 91. But again, they're both not good. Arkansas's defense is cheeks. But tonight they played good. That's what's weird. You feel like, all right, well, they hustled. There was effort. They looked, especially in the first 30, 40 minutes the first 25, 30 minutes of this game, you thought their defense was okay. But Missouri kept finding ways to get points. They hit some late threes. They got to the free throw line, and they crushed it at the free throw line. Good Lord. All right, so let's get into the numbers here. Missouri, as bad as they were, still shot almost 46%, 27 of 59. They were 50% outside. That's not good. They did have some open looks, especially early on in the first half, and then late in the second half, they had just too many open looks. 10 of 20, 50%, 20 of 22 at the free throw line. 20 of 22 at the free throw line. That's 91% roughly. A whole bunch of points. I think close to 30 points from their bench. Bates went off, 29 points tonight for him, 3 assists, 5 steals. They're a heavy steal team. That's the one thing they can do, and they can get points in transition, and that's something that they've done a little bit this year. But they had 9 steals tonight and 4 blocks. So, yeah, I mean, you can't be – if you're Mizzou, you have to like what you got out of Bates, but I'm going to tell you, we'll get into – we'll kind of repeat some of what we said and kind of go over some other stuff. Arkansas – 54% shooting tonight, 33 of 61. They were 4 of 6. They didn't have to shoot outside. I'm getting text messages. Ty, why aren't they trying? They had a couple looks outside. Why are they passing them up? They didn't need them. They didn't need them. Musselman knew. Oh, we're just gonna do what we want in the paint. And that's exactly what they did. They got so many points down in the paint. They outscored Missouri in the paint big time. But 4 of 6, listen, that's 68% roughly, or right around there. 21 of 26, 80% at the free throw line there, 21 of 26. 12 offensive boards to Missouri's 11. 23 defensive boards. On defensive boards, you out-rebounded them plus 8. They had 15 to your 23. But 35 total rebounds to just 26. Missouri, horrible rebounding tonight. God on earth. And their turnovers, 18 turnovers for Missouri, but 14 assists for Arkansas, 10 steals. That's the most in conference play, and I think that's the most all year, if I'm not mistaken. 6 blocks tonight, 15 turnovers, not in love with that. You're actually -1 there in the assist to turnover ratio, or the turnover to assist ratio, whatever. But 21 fouls to Missouri's 23 fouls. Again, you got 91 points. Minifield tonight. You can make the case for Minifield. You really can. Just 1 turnover. Guy played 30-plus minutes tonight. 3 assists. He only had 2 boards, 16 points. You could make a case for Mitchell. You could obviously make a case for Tremont Mark. Tremont Mark is who I'm struggling with here. He did have 3 turnovers, but he had 2 blocks, 3 steals, 1 assist, 4 boards, all of them defense. And, he led the Razorbacks with 22 points. Mitchell on his birthday with a double-double, though. 5 offensive boards. That's almost as many as the rest of the team combined. So 14 total boards, 2 assists, no blocks. I don't know how accurate that is. I swear he had a block. You guys know how I am. I'm always doubting Missouri. What is Arkansas stat broadcast says the same. No blocks. So he got 34 minutes tonight. I'm gonna have to give it to Mitchell again. Yeah, he wasn't the leading scorer, but double-double. It's hard to pass up a double-double. Congratulations to Mitchell. The first chain he's got on the year with a dub. He got the chain from the loss from Kentucky, but tonight it's going to be from a dub, so it's very well earned. Again, 19 points, just 2 turnovers, 2 assists, 14 boards, 5 offensive rebounds. So congratulations, Mitchell, on your birthday, sir. 8 of 13, by the way, 3 of 4 at the free throw line for Mitchell. So how about Minifield, though? 6 of 6. 6 of 6 at the line, 4 of 11 overall, but he was 2 of 3 outside. And again, 16 points, man, 3 assists. You got to love it. You got to love it. Let's see. True, they always have somebody get hot against them. What are you talking about? Boy, the Hogs tried really hard to give the second half away. And that's what's so crazy about the Razorbacks this year. And I told you guys in Discord, don't get too excited about this big lead, because in the second half, we've seen them blow leads. We've seen them just give games away. And although you still felt really comfortable, even when they went on when they went on that run and they hit a couple of open threes, you still felt comfortable. You didn't feel like Arkansas was going to lose the game, even inside that minute and a half, 2 minutes of play there, when Arkansas let their foot off the gas. But they still, though, I don't know what it is about this team. It's almost like they're allergic to winning. They break out with the case of winning, and it's weird, in terms of just on the floor. Like, they'll have these nice little runs, especially early on in conference play or in December. Remember, they'd go on these nice, like, 8-0, 10-0, 12-2, 14-2, not often, but they would go on these runs and then just give it all away, and then they wouldn't score. They'd go 3 or 4 minutes without scoring any points, couldn't buy a foul, couldn't finish at the rim. By the way, Arkansas, let's look at so again, 35 bench points, 56 points in the paint by Arkansas, 25 points off turnovers. They forced 18 Mizzou turnovers, 17 second chance points. You love that. 12 offensive boards, where I talked about all that. 11 of 23 on layups. Hey, what do you know? They were 9 for 9 on dunks. They didn't miss a single dunk tonight, and they didn't, I'm not too thrilled about 11 of 23 on layups, but we've seen worse this year. Arkansas off 73 possessions. I mean, they scored 58% of the time, or 58% off 21% turnovers. They led 37 minutes and 18 seconds of this ball game. I guess they did trail. It says they trailed for .19. Why do I not remember that? I don't remember them trailing at any moment in this game. But the stat broadcast. Oh, they did. That's right. Okay, the free throws. That's right. Yeah. Okay, that's why. They got their points at the line. Okay. I was like, that's not registering, but that was it. And then Arkansas kind of took off. Again, it certainly looked like 45-26. I mean, it looked like Arkansas was going to run them out of their own arena. I wish they had. I still don't see this as a rivalry yet. I still hate Missouri, but you know what? To be fair, I hate a lot of teams. But Arkansas just was clearly more physical, longer. I know that's weird to say with the 7-footers and obviously Connor Vanover, but they play bigger at times. They can be physical at times, and they just out-physicaled. They out-talented Mizzou. And I'm not one to make forecasts, but I feel good about Arkansas's odds of at least if they're going to get anything done this year. I'm just going to say it. I feel like the odds are in Arkansas's favor to sweep Missouri. It's a good feeling. I know everything else has gone to shit, but it's like, you know what? Missouri was worse. Remember all that shit they gave you last year? Oh, well, look at what we did in conference play. Couldn't do anything in March when it matters the most. It's nice. But at the end of the day, neither of us are going dancing, so it's kind of like just bittersweet, and that's really about it. Both these teams suck, let's be real. But can Arkansas, where we're going with this. This is what everyone's going to talk about tonight. This is what everyone's going to talk about on radio, on sports radio the rest of the week. Can they now build off these last 2 performances, especially without Devo? Without Brazil on the floor? We didn't see in the first half. I think for most of the first half, they only had a 7-man rotation. It seems like they're starting to tighten up the rotation, but like you've got this thing with Minifield, like he's playing, then he's not playing, right? When it comes to certain matchups. I don't know what's going on there, but maybe they can tighten the rotation. I think they ended up with How many guys got minutes tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, like solid minutes. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm seeing an 8-man. I'm seeing between Davenport, Makai Mitchell, Minifield, Mark, Graham, Lawson, Blocker, and Battle. Those are the only guys that got minutes. Now, Denijay Harris, Cade Arbogast, and Lawson, all three got to be on the floor, but they didn't count towards the actual. It's kind of weird. They count, but they don't count, if it makes any sense. They didn't record any actual stats, but somehow Cade Arbogast does end up at 1 on the plus minus. We know that has to do with the scoring. But how about Lawson with plus 11 tonight? It's not too bad. And then Battle with plus 7 or 7 on the evening, and then Davenport at 8. So again, that's a stat that I don't even like really going over, to be completely honest with you. I think it's just something else to talk about. It's just more analytics to dive into that don't really mean anything at the end of the day. What matters to me obviously is the final score, but I love it when you're able to do it, what they did tonight, crashing the boards. To be expected. We talked about that earlier today and on Monday. Missouri is a horrible rebounding team. They showed that tonight. Couldn't even break 30 boards tonight. So they're going to fall to 0-8, the worst record in the SEC. God, I love it. Vanderbilt's 0-6. Arkansas is now 2-6. Arkansas is now a game above 500 on the year at 11-10. Missouri falls to 8-13. You love to see it, baby. You love to see it. If they continue to play hard every night, they can string a couple wins. It's weird. It's you know where we're going with this. Okay, the first half they showed you this is what we can do. We've seen this before though, right? We've seen them go on these neat little, being able to put up some buckets, although it's been a minute. You got to give them credit. They did beat A&M even if it was at home. They went on the road. They got a road victory in the SEC, even against Missouri. I mean, you heard them. Mizzou fans hate Arkansas. I told you guys they're going to show up. I don't know what their attendance was, but they were there. They were loud when they needed to be, but Arkansas did a good job of just shutting them out. You got to go to LSU. Now, LSU is starting to look more and more like the team I thought they were. They're 3-4 in conference play. They're coming off. They're coming off a 3-game losing streak, losing to A&M, at Georgia, at Bama. Now, at Georgia, they are pretty competitive. They did beat Ole Miss at home, and they lost at Auburn 93-78, and they beat Vanderbilt at home 77-69. And they went on the road, and they beat A&M 68-53. So, I don't know. I thought LSU was a bottom of the middle of the pack, like an 8th, 9th overall team in the SEC coming into the season. And they're riding that 3-game losing streak, and they want to end it. And what a better time to do it than against Arkansas, who, even though they're playing a little bit better these 2 previous games, that'll be an 11 a.m. tip-off. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie to you. This means Saturday night I can watch a little basketball and maybe play some video games or hang out with the kids or something. But so Saturday at 11 a.m. I'm loving that. I know not everybody is, but I'm loving that against LSU. At LSU right now, the matchup predictor heavily favors Missouri, 76% to win that game. So, tickets were as low as $2. Bro, I mean, this is just losing has consequences, right? And then I guess for some people who at least just want to take their kids to the game or something, they get an opportunity there. Amazing what happens when the locker room is doing better. I mean, if that's the case, Brazil did travel. Devo's the only one that didn't travel as far as I know. So, I don't know, man. I mean, you was Devo the problem the whole time? I mean, I don't know. But they have these last 2 games, without those 2 on the floor, without those 2 in rotation, they have looked better. Is that a coincidence? I guess we'll find out, right? Graham played like a big man finally. Biggs did a good job. Biggs absolutely dominated. Very impressed with them. I know this comes with a caveat. I know that we have to say Mizzou is trash. Yes, they are. They're not a good team. But you heard the announcers in the first half. Nobody had done that No one had gone into Missouri. Now, they obviously haven't won a game in the SEC play, but no one had easily dominated Missouri in SEC play the way Arkansas had, the way those announcers were talking. And I have no idea if that's exactly what he was talking about or not. It seemed like it. I'd have to go back and listen to the broadcast. But, they're not a good team. But I will say the effort, the energy, the want to, it was all there tonight. You can't, those are things, they just happen. It doesn't matter who you're playing. I mean, it does to a degree, sure. But, with the way they looked on the floor tonight, they played with chemistry. Haven't seen that. We saw it a little bit, especially in the first half against Kentucky. We saw it at times against Kentucky. We saw it a little bit against A&M. They found a way to win that game. But they actually put together mostly, I would say, about an 85% game. 80 to 85% of this game, they played really damn well. I liked what I saw. Yes, again, we know, okay? Yeah, Arkansas, again, they 6 blocks. Graham, you talk about playing like a big. We're not even talking about the fact this dude had 4 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 13 points. He did have 3 turnovers, but whatever. 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 6 of 11 overall. Yeah, he played. This is the best game. It's one of the best games he's had. I don't know about ever as a Razorback, but it's got to be up there. I mean, anytime you have 4 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 13 points. Now he only had 1 rebound, and he got quite a few minutes, I think. What did Graham get? He got he had 25 minutes, and he was 7 in the plus minus. So there's that. Best big man performance this year, period. Big L. Period. That's it right there, brother. That's it, man. Period. Amazing what happens when everyone plays hard, says Sean. And to be fair, there have been games this year, even when they get their asses kicked, they look bad in terms of just execution. But, the effort has mostly been there, not all the time. And you guys know how I feel about them standing around out in the perimeter when someone's dribbling with the ball and they're just standing there and there's no movement. And you did see a little bit of that tonight. There's still things they got to work on. And, again, giving up that lead like they did in Missouri, able to bring that thing down. You know what that game kind of reminded me of? It was like the reverse Oklahoma game where Oklahoma was beating the tar out of Arkansas. And Arkansas managed to only lose that game by single digits. But really Oklahoma beat you by 17, 19 points. That's what this game was. Scoreboard does not indicate what actually happened. Arkansas they beat the crap out of Missouri for 80% of this game. They held a double-digit lead throughout most of this game. So, yeah. I hope I liked Blocker being on the floor. And again, I'm a big Minifield guy. I am. I'll admit it. I'm a Minifield apologist. I want him to get more minutes. I know he gets beat off the dribble. I saw that tonight. I thought his defense, I thought it was better, but you see him get beat off the dribble, and it happened tonight. And luckily, I think 2 of the times actually, they weren't able to turn him into points. But he did have 3 assists and 16 points and a couple of boards. Overall, not a bad night. Again, he was 6 of 6. You love the 2 of 3. I love those numbers. And if you can get 3 or 4 guys to put numbers like that together, someone shooting, maybe it's Mark, who, by the way, didn't attempt a single 3 tonight. And neither did Blocker. Davenport only shot 1, but I don't think Davenport got a whole bunch of minutes. But, if maybe one guy here is 2 of 3, another guy here is maybe 2 of 3, and one guy here is 1 of 2, just good shot selection. And that's the other thing. I thought their shot selection, because it was so easy, was terrific, including their 6. I think all of their maybe outside of 1, 5 out of their 6 3-point attempts I was okay with. Even on 1 of the 2 that they missed. Now, there was another shot. I forgot who took it. It was not a good shot, and it was not it just wasn't a place on the floor they need to be. But that's okay. You can live with that, especially when you got a big lead like Arkansas did tonight. Who's your next starting 5? I mean, I don't know. Muscle – I don't know how many different starters. It's crazy. I don't know what they'd go with, but I don't have a problem if you want to switch out somebody from Minifield, put him at the point. Whoever you think that might be, or maybe you move Mark over. And they started with two forwards tonight. They started with Graham and Lawson, and then your three guards were Block, Mark, and Battle. Maybe that's your starting five, and then you go with the rest of the actual eight-man rotation, which was Mekhi Mitchell, Minifield, and Davenport getting a few minutes. Although Davenport just didn't really have any kind of major impact. He did have a block and 3 boards though, but no points. And he did catch. He got into foul trouble too. He ended up with 4 fouls. Mark also played with 4 fouls, and Graham had the 5th there with 13 points. So Mitchell gets the gold chain. Congrats. It feels good. People were saying Arkansas wasn't going to win a single SEC game. I said, hold on. They're going to at least beat Missouri once. They got Vandy. Who knows what they can do at LSU, so just hold on. Pump the brakes. The season, I still don't think Arkansas is making the tournament, but maybe they can string together some wins, and we could look back on the year and go, okay, well, at least they got 5 or 6 SEC wins, whatever. Let's move on to the offseason, assuming he stays. Again, I've been skeptical, but I've also said it's entirely possible about him, staying or going. I don't know. Is it possible he leaves? Sure. Could he still end up? I've said all along, I just don't see him leaving for Louisville because I don't know why would you want to leave the red-hot SEC where all the action is for Louisville. I mean, Arkansas right now is a better job. Historically, Louisville's a hell of a job. We know who was there. We know what they did. They were a force back in the day, along with cocaine and hookers. But, fine. But right now, I think Arkansas is the better job. What more could you do at Louisville? And all we've ever heard, and I've kind of bought into the idea, if he leaves, it's either to head back to the NBA or it's to head out west. It could be, maybe it is Arizona State, maybe it is USC, maybe it's someone out west. That I could see. Okay? But why would you want to leave the SEC? Even with those teams included out west, this is where the action is. And it looks to me like if he were to leave, there's a couple of different ways I would look at that. Number one, Hunter, what the hell? What the hell, dude? What are you doing? And you don't know what to believe with the NIL stuff. You don't know if, Muss is unhappy. He doesn't like what's going on with the NIL. Really? Because he landed a top 3 transfer class. You saw what he did last year in high school recruiting, and he brought in a couple studs this year, one of which is on the floor. In Bay Fall, I think maybe a couple of years down the road could be someone that's a valuable starter or a valuable minute getter. Why would you want to? I don't know. I can understand going to Kentucky. I don't think there are very many jobs in the SEC that are better than Arkansas, at least since Muss has been able to recreate the job and bring its reputation back up. Maybe you can argue Florida because, they had a really good short run there with a couple of back-to-backs, but even then I don't know that Florida's the better job. I mean, there's a true dedication. This state loves its basketball. I mean, to be for real, this state loves its sports because it's all we got here, where that's not the case in Florida. That's not the case out in California. You are it in this state. If you're the best coach on campus, you might as well be the governor. You are the king of this state, all right? So I don't know. And not only that, you've got financial status here. They're going to be competitive with the salary. If they give him an extension, which we know his buyout drops out, I'm pretty sure it drops quite a bit. You're going to get paid here, and you've been able to be successful in the portal and with high school recruiting. This year, you had to replace all that NBA talent. Look at all the guys that have gone on to the NBA and are getting minutes, and at times are making highlight reels. Black. Nick Smith, at least once this year. Walsh is getting minutes, or he got minutes in Boston. Ricky Council, and he's still got other guys in the league that he put there from Arkansas. So you've done that here. Why, again, to me it would look like, again, what the hell, Hunter Yurchek? And then the other part of it is if you do leave to go to Louisville, don't see that happening. I don't see Minnesota, maybe Arizona State. It looks to me like you're running away. Like, I had a bad year. You know what? I miss home. I'm going to go back out west. It looks like you're running away. That's just, I don't know. And I just don't see him as that type of guy. I just don't. But, again, anything could happen. He could leave. I would still throw Minnesota way down there. Remember, we heard this about Indiana. And you guys, I had people telling me in chat, Ty, he's gone. He's going to Indiana. I kept saying, no, he's not. Here we are again. How much of this is kind of a leverage thing, right? Because, again, as we talked about earlier today, we talked about it. We touched on it on Monday. The timing that we're not talking about this coming into the season. We're not talking about this at the end of March. We're talking about this when things are bad. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. You tell me. Feels like smoke to hurry up and get a deal done. And I hope, listen, you got to. If you're Hunter, you got to make something happen. Yeah? You guys with me on that? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We always have a good time. Look at this. We're keeping it under 40-ish minutes. I appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Consider joining Patreon. We're going to do our next giveaway, hopefully the weekend hopefully this weekend. If not this weekend of the 3rd, the following weekend. I'm looking at my calendar here. So we'll do the giveaway. It's a card giveaway. I've got cards, baby. Got some former Arkansas cards, Arkansas player cards that are given away to legendary status. $8 members and Patreon, $4 donors. So we're gonna do some spins again when either the weekend of the 3rd or the 10th. So and don't worry, you don't have to necessarily be there. Don't freak out if you're not there. I'll put a video out. I'll send you a DM on Patreon. If you're in Discord, you'll know about it. So, but maybe you want to be there anyways. Okay, again, shout out to the sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Again, Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, they got you covered. They'll come look at your door for free, your garage door. They'll look at it and give you an estimate. And then, of course, the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria located on Emma Street in Springdale. All right, I think, is there any chat here? Did I miss a super chat? I want to make sure I didn't miss a super chat. We got the two. Appreciate the super chats, by the way. And, of course, to anybody who joined Patreon, I'll give you guys that link one more time. Also, consider joining the Discord. That's where a lot of being a Patreon member pays off. I had somebody who exited as a Patreon supporter a couple of months ago, and their reasoning was they couldn't find the content. Guys, it's mostly 90% of it is in Discord. So you got to be in Discord. There's the link for you. All right. And okay, that's it. I'm done. Don't know if we're going to do anything on Friday or not. You'll know if I do, but to make sure you're there for it, hit the notification bell and make sure you're subscribed. All right. Good win. I love it. I love beating Missouri. Hopefully, I think Arkansas's got a good shot at sweeping them this year. I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. If you can only win a few SEC games, why not make 2 of those against these buttholes to the north of us, the Mizzou Tigers? All right. I'll see you guys later. Be good.